Let me just start off this video by reiterating the fact that there are many moments in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. The game is humongous, full of moments left, right and center. So there are going to be moments in this top 10 that are missing. And if there is one that's missing, I hand the floor over to you to let us all know in the comment section below what your favorite moment of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is. Today's video is the top 10 moments of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So with that all being said, what is up guys, Jen here, hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to the channel. As always, got you covered with timestamps in the description down below, so if there's a certain moment you want to skip to, feel free to do so, but I'm hoping you can stick around for the entire 10 so we can discuss it down there in the comment section below. And again, if there's something I'm missing, please let me know. All I need you to do is support the channel and hit the thumbs up button. So without further ado, let's get into my top 10 moments of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Now there was one moment in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth that just made me smile and enjoy every minute it had to offer, and that was the Upper Junon section, in particular the Junon Parade. We start off by getting launched off by Mr. Dolphin, we go get our Shinra uniforms, we gather the patrol, and then we go, of course, and head to the parade itself. And yes, we do go visit Rude and his exclusive club, and that made me laugh out loud. But the parade, getting involved in the minigame, the music, and overall kind of customization to it, it was incredibly faithful to the original, but adding so much more layers to that section. Yes, it's number 10, but it is certainly one of my favorite moments. If there's been one thing that I've really enjoyed of the remake project so far, is the weaving of new lore that makes sense and adds to the story. There is one bit of lore throughout the story of Rebirth that I thoroughly enjoyed and like how they implemented it, giving story to the overarching story of Final Fantasy VII, and that is the expanded lore on the G and the G tribe, as we're talking to Geen Attack and he is letting us know about how the black materia came to be and just what the G tribe have been in general, and peeking behind the curtain that the Cetra truly weren't the perfect people that we envisioned them to be. I think this section was done incredibly well. It didn't murk the story of the OG whatsoever, it simply added to it and it did it incredibly well. For the months and months leading up to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth's release, the question on most people's minds were how were they going to do the intro and its intro credits? Would they do what I thought they were going to do and do the pan all the way to the back of the truck to Cloud and Sephiroth during the Nibelheim flashback, or would they do something different? Well, they did a bit of everything, but the shining star of it all was the credit sequence. We met Tifa before the traversal of Mount Nebel during the flashback, and probably my favourite rendition of the main theme of Final Fantasy VII starts playing and the credit starts rolling. It was much like Ghost of Tsushima and Death Stranding. The way it just all happened naturally as you're traversing was simply beautiful, and definitely is a shining star moment of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I love the music of Final Fantasy, so when I do these top 10s, I need to include a musical moment. Now, there's probably one that everyone is thinking of that played during a certain ascent that we came across, and that was really up there for me, but there was one that just took the cake because I'm a sucker for nostalgia. There is a certain section in the Temple of the Ancients where Reno and Rude are fighting off some enemies in the Temple of the Ancients, and we go to assist them. Then a very familiar bass line kicks in. That is right, the classic battle bass line returned, and it got me incredibly hyped because I didn't expect to hear this at all during this game, and the fact that they weaved it in so nicely and the track itself sounds epic, it definitely had to be one of my top moments of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Now, this moment is definitely something for discussion of what it actually means, and that is the ending. Like a lot of people, when I completed the game, I was so fixated on trying to solve the puzzle that I didn't really get the ending. I didn't feel the emotion that the ending wanted me to feel. It wasn't until I watched it all through again and took it all in that I felt the emotion that it was trying to convey and the way it was setting up part 3. And I watched it again and I got it even more. And the more that I watched that ending, the more I appreciate it, the more I like it, and the more I am excited for where the game is going to go. Yes, it is a bit of a hot topic on what is actually happening, but I have my own thoughts, which can be for another time. But I really do like the ending of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Leading up to the release of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, we were told to expect a summon in the game that was never in the original Final Fantasy VII, and that it would have its own quest line. I instantly thought of Gilgamesh, not knowing that this was what it was going to be, and when we got more peeks at the Proto-Relic questline, I was down. I had so many thoughts and theories on what it could be, but what we actually got, I really enjoyed the implementation of Gilgamesh. A standout moment in particular when it comes to doing the quest line is gotta be the Cosmo Canyon stuff. Yes, Gears and Gambits wasn't the greatest game, but the story based around Avalanche and what happened and the emotion I felt during that certain part of the quest line was absolutely fantastic. Of course, we had the comedic aesthetic thing of the Fort Condor and having the OG polygonal models was great, but just the overall quest line and just leading up to the moment to actually go against Gilgamesh, the entire thing was fantastic, and I'm really interested to see if they're going to carry this on part 3 or if they're going to keep it there and try something a little bit different but more or less the same. But here in Rebirth, I really enjoyed the Proto-Relic quest line. I had the pleasure and the honor to play a preview build of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth leading up to its release. We were told we were going to be playing the entire of Chapter 1 and Chapter 2, and I stuck with that as I was doing my coverage. I was like, these are the first 2 chapters of the game, it's going to be fantastic. So when I actually got to play the full release of the game, and there was a section with Zack and he was playable, I was swept off my feet. I was excited, I had goosebumps, I was trembling, I was like, what is going on? Oh my god, Square lied to me, why would they do that? But no, I was locked, rocked and ready for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and the fact that we had a playable Zack, this is definitely one of my top moments of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Now I guess this one is another musical type top moment for me, but I think the whole sequence was pretty damn epic. We had just witnessed the death of Aerith and we were flung straight into the Genova Life Klinger fight, and the music, oh my goodness, even though I was still trying to figure out what was going on, I certainly got the goosebumps as the music started playing and morphing from the Aerith theme into the Genova theme. But then the whole sequence, everyone having their limit breaks except Cloud, and the way we had different phases doing different sides and just the teamwork and the set pieces, it was a battle for the ages and probably my favorite fight of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Now this moment ranks so highly for me because of the way it makes me feel, and I got to experience this again at the preview event and then of course when I played the full release of the game, and it is the fact that it made me feel exactly how I felt when this moment happened in the OG, and that can be a very, very hard thing to pull off when you know it's coming. And that is when we open the doors and we are here in the world map and just get to traverse it however we please. The fact that they managed to capture this moment exactly the way it was in my head when playing the original is absolutely crazy. I get goosebumps just talking about it. This is definitely a moment that I'm sure a lot of you experienced just like me. The fact that they captured it just how it was, it's something else really, and I don't know what to say. It's kind of making me feel emotional as I'm talking about it. They truly pulled out all the stops when it came to the world map reveal. There are many reasons why this moment or this sequence of events is my favorite moment of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. The main reason is just the way it made me feel, the way it made me more invested in the story and the characters, and that simply was the trials at the Temple of Ancients. We get to dive a little bit deeper into the characters, and if we've been on this journey since the beginning of the OG all the way through to the remake to now Rebirth, man, I felt a lot playing these sequences. From Red 13 getting dragged and having to be part of how that played out, that got to me, man. And then we kind of seen the Nibelheim incident from the perspective of Tifa. We then relived the horror that Yuffie experienced in Intergrade, and then we go and have the perspective of Barrett before the reactor exploded and all this shit went down. Man, just thinking about it is getting to me a little bit, and it was just a moment. But then they decided, you know what, we're not done with you, we're gonna crush you even more with the Aerith sequence. What was no more than a minute scene in the original Final Fantasy VII and a quick flashback in Remake was the death of Aerith's mother. The fact that they got us to go around and call out for help, and I felt that. I felt the moment, like I felt that. And then having Almera come and try and assist and help, and we get back and we're just too late, and the emotion, the music, man, it just made me feel for Aerith and just appreciate her character, her past so much more. And then watching her watch it was just a whole sequence of events. They took us on a roller coaster with those trials, and it made me feel, it made me appreciate the story, the characters, and just want more. Even though I was feeling I wanted more, and I wanted to finish this story, and I want to finish the whole story. And that is why the Temple of the Ancients sequence is my top moment of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So there we have it, guys, my top moments of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Do you agree? Would you shuffle them around? Are there moments that I missed? I'm sure there are. There are many moments. I had a whole list that I had to pick through. And again, I could have done honorable mentions, but I want to leave that task up to you. Let me know your favorite moments of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I appreciate your time. Thank you for watching. If you like the content, consider subscribing, hitting the notification bell so you're notified of that content, hitting the thumbs up button, getting involved in the comment section below, and until next time, I'll catch you on the flip side.